Hello Cancer! Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of April 23rd through 29th. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. All right. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, we've got a Five of Swords that actually came out reversed. I don't read reversals, but if you're a follower of this channel, you know about this Five of Swords and how we like to reverse it when we can, you know. We're going to do the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread, and as I lay these cards out, I do just want to say that if there's anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. Okay. All right, finishing up Dove and Serpent spread. A lot of good cards here. Very lovely energy. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we're going to leave it right here. Yep, this one single card. And hopefully that'll tie the reading together and give us the confirmation that we need at the very end, right? So try to stick around until the end. Try to make it a little bit shorter than usual. Okay, so we've got some earth. We've got a lot of air here. That's the main issue there, is that air. We've got some more earth and fire. We've got some fire. We've got some majors and some water. I think it's a pretty good balance of energies, you know. I think that once we get past the path of the dove, then we can get to some of these great major arcana cards here on the path of the serpent, right? This is the work that we have to do, and this is the reward that we get for doing it, okay? So let's see how this goes. First thing we have is this five, however you want to hold it, this Five of Swords. We'll hold it upright for now. Hopefully by the end we can flip it around, right? I think you're somebody who has dealt with some self-esteem issues. I think that you try to be a confident person, right? You try to really believe in yourself. I think that you are a very intelligent person. I think you're always thinking, you're always trying to learn and grow and discover new things. You're trying to really, you're trying to gain knowledge, right? You really, I think, are an intellectual person. That could be one of your primary functions, you know? I think that sometimes you lack a little bit of faith in yourself, you know? I feel like sometimes you don't quite believe in what you're capable of. I feel like, and I don't know why this hits you like this sometimes, but I feel like you're doing perfectly good work. You're doing what you want to be doing. You're doing what you have set out to do. You're seeing progress. You're being successful. But then in any moment, it'll just hit you that you don't deserve it, or that you're a failure, or that you're not doing well at all, or that you're a lot of negative thoughts, right? And I think that really starts to empty out your self-esteem bucket a little bit. Your confidence takes a hit. And most of this, I think, is from our own self-talk, this own dialogue that we have with ourselves that is kind of like one part of the ego putting down the other part of the ego. Okay? And again, I don't know what it is that kind of triggers this in you, because it feels like you're doing perfectly fine work and making progress and doing all the right things, and you're growing, you're excelling, you're being successful, and then your mind just kind of gets in the way, and you start having doubts, you start having so many questions, you start having a lot of like conflicting thoughts, confusing energies, a lot of just kind of putting yourself down, like I said, you know, and that creates this kind of stagnation. It kind of locks you in place, and there's no way out, right? That's how we perceive it. We think that we've kind of gotten into a place now that is almost hopeless, right? But I feel like this feeling passes. I feel like this isn't something that sticks with you. I feel like you're able to get yourself out of this Eight of Swords, which, is really the sabotaging ourselves. It's almost as if you see that you're starting to really progress. You see that you're starting to feel proud of yourself and you're making these gains and things are growing and looking good. And that is almost too much to handle. So you've got to cut it down before you really start to feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? So I feel like most of these negative thoughts occur when you're very close to achieving something. It's like that last little push. Some part of you just says, I'm terrible at this. We start having those negative thoughts. And that's a dialogue with ourselves that if we start engaging in that dialogue, before we know it, days, months, years have gone by, and we're just stuck in that energy. Okay? So I'm almost feeling like you're dealing with one of these kinds of periods this week. Okay? I think that here's the recent past. This is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, if you look at the overhead, hopefully the overhead camera's working today. If you look at the overhead, you can see that this Queen of Discs is sitting down, holding some stuff, looking back. Right? This is you looking at the past. I think that you're feeling nostalgic for things that you have accomplished in the past. For the past work that you did and how it felt. Remember, this is the Queen of Discs, so it's water of earth. It's the emotional component of the earth, of the physical things. So I think part of this concentration, this real knot of air energy here, is because we are thinking about what we've done in the past, not in a negative way, but what we've accomplished. And it's almost this feeling of, you're past your prime, you've already peaked, right? And nothing can ever feel as good. These accomplishments, anything in the future, won't feel as good as what I've already done. Those days are over. Right? Kind of a lamenting that now we're older and it seems like all of our good days are behind us. All of our great successes, all of our feelings of triumph and accomplishment and success and satisfaction are back there. However, we see good earth and fire energy in the future. So what we really need to do is kind of turn this Queen of Pentacles around, and we need to start looking forward. Because I see up above everything, at the top of the path of the dove, this Four of Pentacles. I think this is your goal, your aspiration. This is what you really want. You want to create, you want to have your own, right? Your own business, your own home, your own family, your own life. You want to build something that is from you, okay? And that is in conjunction with this Ace of Wands down here at the bottom. These two cards go together, okay? Because the 4 plus the ace equals the 5. Now, we don't have a 5 of discs or a 5 of wands, but together, these two, we do have a 5. We do have emotion. So the picture, the vision that you want, what you are aspiring to, and you've got the motivation, the enthusiasm, you've got the fire to make things happen, right? So 4 plus 1, the 5. The 5 is what makes things happen. And that's the movement. That's the ability to put these plans into action, to materialize these goals, these visions that you have. Now, the vision that you want, again, you want your own. You want something that is an expression of your soul, your spirit, your creativity. You want your life, your home, your family, your business to be a reflection of you, right? To have your aesthetic, to have your the things that you like, just in the physical objects, right? In the art, in the furniture, in the functions, just the yard, everything, the garden, the landscape, the location, the neighborhood, the city, the town that you're in. You want that to be an expression of you, so that nothing is just kind of random and nothing's decided by anyone else. It's like you want it to be an expression of your creativity. Okay? And you're building that. 4 of Pentacles, discs. You're creating that step by step. Okay. So you are making this kind of progress, but maybe now as we get older, this progress is a little bit slower. Maybe now it's just a matter of our goals being larger. The things that we want to create, the life that we want to build, is so much, it's on a bigger scale now. So it feels like it's taking a lot longer to get there, and that puts us back into this nostalgic Queen of Pentacles. We're thinking, God, I've already peaked. My best days are behind me. My best accomplishments were back then. But back then, you maybe had smaller goals, easier to attain, satisfaction that came from different things. But now we're on a different level. We're in a new time in our life. Obviously, we're older. I don't know how much older, but we are older. Unless you don't age. And if that's the case, send me an email. So our goals are larger now, right? We're setting the bar higher. It's going to take us a little bit longer to get there. And the longer it takes, the more we are creating space for this kind of Gordian knot, this tangle of thoughts and doubts and questions and uncertainty and second-guessing ourselves and the kind of putting ourselves down, all the negative dialogue, right? We're creating more room there because it's a longer stretch between these activities and these accomplishments and this creation, right? It's taking longer to see the final product. So we're opening ourselves up to more of these moments. And I think we're in one of these stages currently, or this week is kind of going to be about this a little bit. But in the future, in the way forward, we do see that 6 of Pentacles. We go from this 4 plus the Ace plus the Spirit underneath and forming it all. This is your creativity, your will, your plans, right? This is an expression of you and who you are at your core. The 4 plus the 1 is the 5. The next logical step is the 6. And the key word for the 6 of Pentacles is material success. Everything is going to line up, right? Everything is going to be in the perfect configuration for you. Everything that you're trying to create is going to be in place, and everything is in its perfect place, right? This is the lock tumbler where every little piece of the lock has to be in a perfect location, a perfect combination to activate this energy. So the life that you want, the things that you're trying to get for yourself, to build, to gain, to create, you're going to achieve it, right? And I think we have to get through this period of doubt and questioning and this negative internal dialogue in order to realize this success, to manifest our will in this this physical plane, okay? So the 6 really is the balance, the harmony, the perfect alignment of everything for there to be just success in whatever realm we're talking about. If this is swords, if this is the wands, if this is the cups, it's just the perfect balance. Everything has come together perfectly, almost beyond belief, how perfectly everything just lines up for whatever success we're trying to achieve. And this is talking about your physical success. This is talking about your home, your life, your career, your job, your creativity, your family, the things that you want to create and build and manifest for your life, right? But the earth element also contains within it the swords, the cups, the wands, right? So locked within this physical environment is the spirit, is the Ace of Wands for sure, but also the emotions, the intellect, the satisfaction on every plane, not just the physical plane. I think seeing physical success and making progress in your physical environment is going to do something for you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, that's not to say that your happiness or your well-being or your spiritual progress is dependent on your material possessions. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying getting the accomplishments, getting the satisfaction from achieving your goals on the physical plane is going to reinforce your confidence. It's going to help you to understand your value, your worth, your capabilities. Understand your spirit. To get over all of this air energy that's right here, all these, the 5 and the 8. Right? And I think that really is what is going to turn this 5 of Swords upside down. And we're going to put ourselves on top. We're going to put spirit on top. Right? This is our confidence. This is us with positive affirmations rather than negative dialogue. Okay? So I think when you start to recognize the success and the achievements that you're making, the way everything is coming into alignment for you, it's going to reinforce this positive dialogue, these positive affirmations. And these positive affirmations, this positive, optimistic outlook, this confident outlook, is going to create the 6 of Pentacles. It's a positive feedback loop, right? The more we hold on to positive thinking, the more we will accomplish, the more we can manifest. If we start to have too much negative self-talk, negative internal dialogue, we're going to go right back here to looking at the past as somehow it was better back then, right? By putting your positivity on top, by putting spirit back on top, letting spirit take the wheel, that is how we create this really kind of uncanny alignment of energies. Okay? You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish just through positive thinking. Right? We need to translate that into action, right? Of course, we've got the 4 of discs and the Ace of Wands, so we know about action and manifesting things through, activity. Positive thinking will only take you so far, but positive thinking is enough, I think, to really invoke the spirit and get these kinds of synchronicities, this kind of weird alignment of energies and forces and objects and people and the timing, right? Everything will come together. And that brings us to the path of the serpent. Now, on the path of the serpent, we start with this 4 of Wands energy. This is a temporary grounding of this fire energy. It's interesting, this is the 4 of Wands, right? Because what we had was the 4 of discs, and then we bring this spirit into it. We bring our creativity, our spiritual force and fire, the spiritual light, our enthusiasm, our ambition. We bring that to the 4. And it's almost like we set this mundane world, this physical world, we set it on fire, spiritual light, right? And it becomes a 4 of Wands. So what we're doing is we're taking all of this spiritual fire, this creativity, this really kind of abstract and subtle and unmanifested spiritual energy, spiritual light and fire, and we're giving it a temporary manifestation. We're bringing down this, what is our will, what is our spirit, we're bringing it down into the manifested 4, right? We're squaring the circle. We're bringing the fire down to earth. I almost expect Mercury to be here somewhere. But this is a temporary thing. So this, again, is we're creating this, it's almost like a campfire. We're taking the fire and we're containing it in a structure. But that's temporary. We know that, eventually we're going to have to continue doing more work. Right? It's not the final resting place. And I think that's an important thing, because when we get to this 6 of Pentacles here, and it's interesting that they're both circular formations, when we get here, this may look like the end result. This may look like heaven. This is it. This is the goal, the finish line, the end zone. But what we really kind of wake up to once the amazement of this kind of wears off a little bit, right? Then we start to see, okay, I've just contained the fire into a structure. I've just built this campfire for tonight. But in the morning, we've got to keep moving, And when we keep moving, that's when we really start to see some of this star energy in our lives. And this, again, is through putting spirit on top, We've got the connection with the air here and spirit, right? Raising our antenna so that we can communicate with spirit and we can receive the influence from our higher self, God, Goddess, Deity, universal mind, universal energy, holy guardian angels, spirit guides, whatever you want to call it. We are receiving that information, and this is kind of what it looks like now to be that kind of, to be that transistor, right? We're receiving the divine influence, the grace, the divinity, the blessings from heaven, and we are pouring it out, we're expressing it out into the world, right? So this is kind of representing, or at least suggesting, tying into this Four of Wands a little bit. Taking the fire, we are enclosing it in a structure temporarily, right? And this is kind of the same thing, but this is more in a fluid way, right? We're receiving something, it's going through us. We're just a transistor, and we're expressing it out into the world. So we've become a conduit, right? And I think we're going to have many campfires. There are going to be many opportunities for you to bring your spiritual fire down, give it form, and then move on. Let's do the next thing. Okay? And it could be more than one night. Maybe you're camping for a week or two, but campfires are temporary structures. Okay? But this is kind of what we're going for. We're going to activate and become this conduit, this channel, this pipeline, really, for this divine energy. And I think that's what you're tapping into. And I think in large part it has to do with us getting over this tangle of negative thoughts, negative internal dialogue, in order to really activate this star energy. Now the star is, well, we know that there are billions of stars around us, right? So it is kind of this idea of you picking one distant star and working toward it. That's your journey. Campfire after campfire, night after night. Like we said before, it seems like the goals now are loftier goals. So they take longer to get there. Well, that's why we've got the stars, because they're far away. So you pick one, you work towards it. It may take a while to get there. But once that is accomplished, it's like you're never going to run out of inspiration. You're never going to run out of things that will really get your fire going, right? You'll never run out of, let's say the aces of wands that you can temporarily manifest in a structure. Let's say the ace is here. The ace is just one star in the company of stars. And that happens to be the one now that you're trying to express, that you're trying to manifest. You're throwing your lasso around a particular star, and once you kind of rope it in, manifest it, you can move on to another one. You know what I mean? There's going to be no shortage of inspiration for you. No shortage of creativity, of goals, of aspirations for you. All right. Now, the next card is interesting because this card represents Cancer. This is the Knight of Cups. This represents the kind of cardinal water sign person. So I think that this is a picture of you, okay? And this is in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. So I think this is kind of this is the energy that you want to be, that you want to express, that you want to embody. But it's also, like I said at the beginning, when you start to feel successful and like you're growing and things are progressing, that's when you start to get these kind of negative thoughts and feelings, What you really want to be is just this intense rush of water energy. You want to just be full of love and spirituality and intuition and creativity and compassion, and you don't want to stop and think and start doubting. You want to just be progressing. You want to be flowing like water, but not in a gentle kind of moseying way, in a rush. a torrential flood, right? Because then there's no time to stop and worry or stop and doubt yourself, you know? So this is the fire of water. This is that creativity that is just flowing, and there's no slowing down enough to stop and doubt. It's just the rush. It's just a torrential flood of this creativity, of your confidence, right? And this is what we want to be. We want to just ride the wave of this good feeling, this success, this satisfaction, this feeling like we're making progress. But we're kind of nervous about this because it's like when things start going too well, when there's so much momentum, again, that's when we have a tendency to get into our own heads and start second guessing things and, questioning ourselves, doubting ourselves. But what we see next is a real interesting card. This is the Lust or Strength card, the 11th mystery of the tarot. This is kind of the end result of things. And now this is a fiery card, right? This is about control. This is about harnessing this fiery energy. It's kind of taking this Four of Wands. We're taking the Ace and we're putting it into a structure. We're giving it form. It's like the campfire that is, kind of temporary. But this is a real control over the fire that now just says we're an expert at making fires now. We could rub two sticks together. We could snap our fingers and make the fire. Manifest the fire, right? Fire is one of those interesting elements where it exists everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And so by rubbing two sticks together, we are we're manifesting the fire that's already around us, but we're giving it form. Does that make sense? It's almost like we're just pulling it out of the ether, pulling it out of nowhere, and it's now on this piece of wood. So you're becoming an expert fire maker, right? You're becoming an expert at taking the fire energy and manifesting it, which is what the figure's doing in that card, right? You've tamed your kind of lower nature. You've gotten a handle on some of this mental activity, this putting yourself to negative dialogue. You've gotten a handle on that, and now you're able to just pull fire down and manifest it. Give it form. This is a real mastery of your magical ability. I really love this. I'm really excited for this new energy, this new kind of, hopefully some clarity through this reading. Now, we're going to look at the mystery card. I know I said I wouldn't go too long. We're at like 28 minutes now. But the mystery card. We started with this air energy. We have an ace over here with the ace and the 4, and we've got the 4 over here. So I wonder if this is going to be another ace. It could be an Ace of Cups. I think the Knight of Cups is kind of holding on to that Ace of Cups, and that is the love, the creativity, the vulnerability, the openness, the acceptance of things. But I don't know if that's really the vibe, I want more resolution to this air energy that we see right in the middle here with the 5 and the 8 of Swords. I want this to be an Ace of Swords, the 1, the unity, the clarity, the idea that we understand now, It's not that we've gotten rid of any of this energy. These periods of time, these cycles will still happen. We'll still doubt ourselves and question ourselves, but now we'll have maybe a more keen insight. We'll be a little bit sharper. We'll have a better grip on things so that we can see what this is all about, why it's happening. We can get to the bottom of it. We can not let it interfere with us. Right? We can easily cut ourselves out of this tangle of wires, this tangle of thoughts with our ace. If we're holding on to our Ace of Swords, we can easily cut through anything that's in our way. And this air energy sometimes is in our way. So that's my feeling. Is this going to be an Ace of Swords? Let's find out. There's the Ace of Swords. This is exactly what we need. We need a firm grip on the reality of the situation. We need a firm grip on what's going on in our lives. We need a clear understanding, an enlightened understanding of these cycles that happen to us. We need to really get a grip on our own thought process. We need to keep our minds sharp so that we can be aware when all of these other swords are starting to close in on us, and we can fight them off, we can dissect them, analyze them, we can understand them. And by slicing them up and understanding what they are, they're no longer a threat. They're no longer an interference. You know, the Eight of Swords, keyword interference. So I think the Ace is really what we need to hold on to. And this is also, you know, looking at things from a different point of view. This is not being stuck underneath all of this air energy, where we can only really see kind of what's up and what's out there. We need different perspectives. We need to look at things from all angles and see, yeah, I have a tendency to put myself down and to doubt myself and to second guess myself, but a little bit of that might be okay, because it keeps me honest, it keeps me sharp, it keeps me looking at things from different sides so that I can more quickly and more successfully and more intensely manifest this fire, pull it out of nowhere, pull it out of the ether and manifest my fire. And I think that's really, really wonderful. Cancer, I think you really got some good stuff going on this week. I'm very excited. I'm also excited for the extended. If you want to stick around, please click on the link that's right up here. You can have access to all of the extended readings. This was your weekly reading, April 23rd through 29th on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Thank you so much for letting me read for you.